Merry
back.
Christmas, Johnny. How are you doing?
Merry Christmas, Andrew. When this comes out, it will fast. We did some misplanning on our last episode.
How did both of us? So I pitched the idea of a Christmas episode, and we were like, I even said, I think on the podcast, I was like, wait, so by the time we record this, it'll be out before, and both of us were like, oh yeah, that checks out.
Yeah,
Not at all.
I know. I was listening to it when I was doing the clips for promo, and I was like, yeah, no, the next one will be out before. Neither
Not
of
even
us
close.
thought.
We're off by like 5 days, but that's okay. This will be like people will still be in the Christmas spirit. I think by Monday Monday after Christmas when you're listening to this. So
after Christmas, there's that lull where everyone's depressed, like, oh, the party's over and we got to start. This will be a little bump. This will be like, oh, there's still the Christmas episode of the Cavalry.
This will be like the little morning hit, if you're an alcoholic for Christmas. This will be a little pull in the morning to get you through your day.
Perfect analogy. Perfect.
But yeah, so this is it. This is how is it crazy at your house with 3 kids? Christmas has got to be nuts, right?
This is our first Christmas ever that we have not been in Omaha at one of my sister's houses for Christmas morning.
Oh, okay.
So this will be different. So it's a lot less crazy, to be honest, because there's like 10 cousins.
So this is new territory. So you like every tradition now is going to be like you get to just create it.
Yep.
What's the plan? What's the menu? Do you have big plans, or what is the
Gigi will be coming over tomorrow in the evening just to, celebrate, and then we're just doing Christmas on our own. We got no plans. I think Aaron's going to cook some big meal tomorrow, but I think we're just going to take it easy on Christmas Day. We're going to do a Zoom with my whole my family, and I hope everyone can make it except for that brother of mine that gave me a hard time about the books topic.
Do you have everybody? How many people? This is what I wanted to ask you too. You have a big family now. Now, how many people do you actually have to buy presents for?
Well, we would always
total
do a secret
number.
Santa. We would do a secret Santa, and then, so you get them for your godchildren, your secret Santa, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
But I have 2 brothers whose birthdays are December 17th and December 26th, and so they would always get. We'd all get together for Christmas, so they would get Christmas presents. This is a grievance that I have had for a long time. They're 35. They're 35, and they have been getting Christmas birthday presents from every brother and sister until, they still do today, just because we get together. I haven't gotten birthday presents from my brothers and sisters since I was, 16?
Fascinating. So because the old trope is like my wife's or my mother-in-law, her birthday is on Christmas Eve. And so that's that whole thing, right? Like, oh no, it sucks to have a birthday on Christmas because then everyone forgets about you. No one cares. And so we always, my wife's always going way out of her way to make sure, like, no, this is the birthday present. This is the Christmas present, Yeah. But you're saying it actually is in reverse with these large adult son brothers of yours who are getting birthday presents from their siblings when they have no right to be getting, because you're right. I don't get birthday presents from my siblings.
Yeah, we're adults. You don't do that anymore.
But
they're the youngest. So we still look at them like, oh, my little brother, I got to get him a birthday present. Oh, wait a minute. He's 35 and makes 3 times as much money as me. The hell?
Oh, no, I can relate to that. Yeah. My little brother could buy and sell me 10 times too. So
Oh my gosh.
And then so like you have like 40 brothers and sisters or something like that.
I got 3 brothers, 3 sisters, so close.
Yeah. So when you're a kid, Christmas was probably insane. Did you have to do the Secret Santa thing when you were a kid too? Just like your mom just buys for one?
No, I'm trying to think when we transitioned into that, but but so this year I sent out a text saying, "Hey, are we doing the Secret Santa and shipping it?" And everyone was, or are we just letting 2020 burn, and everyone was like, "Yeah, screw it." So we're not even.
Oh, you're not even doing that.
We're not doing that at all.
Oh.
We're not even sending. And we
It's
all have
actually
enough
great.
gifts we have to send across the country for godparents, godchildren, all that.
The COVID thing, I don't know how you've done the shopping, but the COVID thing has taken a lot of the magic out of buying presents for people because, you don't want to like be soulless about it. You don't want to get just people like gift cards or whatever. But oh my God, trying to like find like a unique special gift like on Amazon or whatever is so impossible that you really are just better off if you have to give someone gifts, just give them the dollar amount, because there's just no way to buy. You're not gonna find some kitschy fun thing on the internet. It's just.
I totally agree. And that leads me into my first thing I need backup on. When you're buying, because we're all just, everyone's buying, it's all Amazon or from the store. Like,
yeah,
you don't need it. Can we agree? Are you on my side that you don't need to wrap presents?
Oh man. Oh no, no.
Because all presents are going, and it's like, especially if it's Amazon, all you're doing is clicking a box that says, charge me an extra $7. They wrap it and then they ship it. I didn't wrap it. So what I'm doing, and I think is totally justified, is you just say, this is a gift, and then you fill out that little, box that says,
right.
The thing says, hey, this is from your Uncle Johnny. Enjoy these roller skates or whatever,
I forgot to even do that. Enough. No, I got something for my brother. I forgot to even do that. I was like, I just sent him I just had a package shipped to him. And then I was like, hey, you're going to be getting a package, but don't open it till Christmas. And then he texted me. He was like, hey, thanks for I got him a golf visor, Yeah. He was like, thanks for the visor. I was like, what are you doing? I told you not to open it. He's like, how would I have known that I was supposed
How would I know which one? Yeah.
It didn't say anything on it. I thought it could have been like, my mail, whatever. So I was like, it's touche. It's a good point. No,
well, that's why when I do that, to avoid that, I'll put like, because like for uncle or aunt, we'll put boo, like, because it's a Polish thing, like booyah or whatever. So I'll put like, I'll just address it to some weird name so they know, oh, this isn't from me to me, or so they know it's a gift.
And that's happening with me and Heidi too, because like we obviously are shipping stuff here for each other, which you would never do in a normal year. And you don't want to open it, but then you also want to get to it before someone else opens it. If it's your thing, it's just, the whole thing is impossible. I thought you were going to say you don't even wrap it if it's coming to your house, like for your kids or whatever. I thought you were going to be like, no wrap. I was like, whoa, I don't know if I can back this up, but no, I didn't even know what you were talking about was an option. So yes, so I think
you can pay extra and have Amazon wrap it before they put it in the box.
You're right. That is just like, let's just all make Jeff Bezos a little richer.
Right.
And I didn't do anything. You didn't do it, No, they can wrap it if they really care. It's like, wrap it yourself. If you want the big show, the thing under the tree, whatever, wrap it yourself.
Do you and Heidi have separate Amazon accounts?
Well, yeah, but
you do.
It's so funny you brought that up. I just today was like, because she got an Amazon gift card and we were gonna buy some baby stuff. And then, but she had applied it to her account and I was trying to order it on my account. I was like, I need to get in. Anyway, long story short, I realized I have Amazon Prime, right? I've been paying for it for years or whatever.
Okay.
And I just assumed that she had it too, or that she was sharing my account. She hadn't been on it this whole time. So I can't tell you how many times she's probably paid for shipping. And I'm paying for Amazon Prime this whole day. It drove me insane. It's like for an hour today, I was like thinking about it, like all the times we've probably paid for shipping when we didn't have to. But there is a way. So then I had to go in and like marry our two accounts together or something. So I figured it out.
I didn't know you could do that. Oh, I gotta figure that out because I have
you can
my own
share.
Account,
you can share your Amazon Prime with like one other person. So if you choose, it could be your wife. But yeah. Anyway,
I'll have to friend request her on Amazon.
Yeah, make sure it's the right beaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm back you up 100%. I do love like opening I do like the the theatrics of the like wrapping the thing. I think like that's like 90% of it anyway, is just having a thing to open.
Yeah.
Like the actual gift is, I don't know, I can count on like one hand how many times you've like really needed and wanted the thing. But yeah, that's like the opening. So I'm into wrapping gifts, but that thing that you're talking about, no way. No, I would never. I don't even think anybody expects that. Do people do it to you?
No, I mean, well, that's our way. Like I've gotten a couple gifts from godchildren or whoever, from my brothers and sisters because they're kids, whatever, and we don't know who it's from. Like I got a J. Crew bag, and I have to send out a text.
Oh, that's so true.
It's like,
yeah,
hey, I got a J. Crew bag. I haven't ordered anything. My wife didn't. It's just to me. I don't want to open it and find out because it's a Christmas present, I'm assuming. So I'm reaching.
That's so
out
true,
to
and it's so awkward. It is so awkward to like. I had to do that to my brother because my younger brother. We got him this wine. This is another one that just got blown because of the nature of this thing. But this like wine subscription for a month trial, and it was a free trial. No, we paid for it. But this wine subscription, and so it emailed him the thing. Like that, it's all digital. He gets emailed this thing. It's like, hey, you have this deal, and now you get wine. Sign up here, and you get it for a month. But I had to make sure that, like, because there was no confirmation. I didn't hear anything from my brother, and I was like, you're like, did that even go through? And I know I paid for it, but then what if he doesn't? What if he thinks it's junk? What if he thinks it's like spam? So now I have to tell him, hey, I got you a gift. There's no way to word that without it sounding like, where's the thank you, asshole? And then he had to text back like, oh, I was just about to text you, thank you, what a good guy. And you're like, oh, you don't have to say that either. Like the whole thing is so awkward.
Yeah, I was on the phone with my sister, and I was like, hey, did you get me something from J. Crew? Because I don't know who it would be from. And my goddaughter is her daughter, and she's like, oh, yeah, I think I did. Or no, maybe it was from Von Mar. I was like, no, me and Duncan got a package from Von Mar. She's like, I don't know if that's from me. All right.
Well, that's been happening with the baby presents, because, and that's even worse because people go off the registry and then stuff will show up. There's no note. There's no forwarding address, whatever. And we have to write. It's even worse than Christmas because you need thank you notes. You need a thank you note for every person. So you have to track it down to who sent you. Because if you don't send a thank you note, then you're like cursed for 1,000 years and people hate you too. So the thank you note thing is like a whole nother headache. So that's been going on in our neighborhood. The neighbors have been making us, really nice neighborhood. They've been making us dinner because they know we just had a baby. Yeah, it's great.
That's great.
And the other thing is, like you're like, I don't know if we're the youngest, but definitely like the poorest people in the we're not poor, but compared to some of our neighbors, we have the least amount of money. I can just tell by the cookware, like everything they give us is so much heavier. It's like, oh my God, this is like actual metal and glass. This is crazy. Like rich people's cookware is just so heavy, but we have to write a thank you note every time it shows up. You're like, okay, thank you. You're like, that's great. But then in my head, I'm just like, that's just one more thank you note. That's just one more bringing it back, washing it good, So I don't even know where I was going with this, but the awkwardness of this year of having to figure out where all these gifts came from.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare. But see, sounds like if you click that button on Amazon, it clears it all up for you.
Yes, but you only find that out once you open it. So they have to open it, see what you got them. And
because I'm telling you, if I just open packages around here willy-nilly, then I'm going to open the wrong thing that my wife got for me, and then she's going to maybe get mad at me about that and spoil it. And so.
Oh, that's why I was asking if you had your own accounts, because I have, like, there will be times, I mean, we're shopping on Amazon so much, and if she gets something, like, I just won't get her anything off of Amazon because all you have to do is click on orders, and you can see everything.
Can see. Yeah.
And she'll occasionally be like, you can't look at the orders. And that's one of my things I do. I wake up, get my phone off the nightstand, check my bank account, credit card balance, Facebook, and Amazon orders or whatever, just because I'm so like anal about where everything is, and so I just look at it all the time.
We have it set up where it's even more confusing because we have separate accounts, but then we have the same. I just ship it under her name. So even on my account, everything gets shipped under her name to this address, and I don't know how that started or why, but that's just
that's
the way.
just the default, right?
Yeah, so both accounts get shipped under Heidi Hayward. So every box shows up is for Heidi Hayward, even if it's something I ordered for me,
Yeah.
And then also we have like 500 addresses just from like when we've shipped to other people or when we moved to other places, or like when I was on the road, I had to ship it to like, wherever I was. And that's somehow the default is never the house that we live in. It's crazy.
Huh.
Anyway. So
right. So we agree. All right.
I'm with you.
What do you got?
Okay. Well, we're on the topic of presents. I have what I don't know if this is going to be controversial for you or not, but do you ever open presents on Christmas Eve?
Yes. I guess tomorrow their kids will be opening the presents from mom and dad.
So they can see the reaction to that. Yeah.
But that was just decided today or yesterday. Like I think like growing up we got to open one on Christmas Eve and then the rest all on Christmas.
I'm anti opening anything on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So here's my rationale. One, the whole like I go back to like, why is Christmas so fun? It's like it's the pile of shit. It's not like it's not just like what's in the box is gonna be so great. It's usually sucks. Usually whatever's in there, it's like a sweater or whatever. Even if it's a toy, some toy you think you want, you don't even want it. It's the pile. You want the big, overwhelming, like, holy shit, look at all that stuff that we got from Santa Claus, right? That's the impressive thing. And you don't want to like eat into that by opening presents on Christmas Eve. And then also, how do we I mean, the Santa Claus thing, like, how do you not explain? You know what I'm saying? Are you just saying Santa came early?
No, I get what you're saying. Well, as far as how we did it, it was like it was a gift from mom and dad under the tree.
Okay, and then the Santa.
So it wasn't all Santa. Santa's all Christmas.
Okay. All right. Well, then that makes sense. But I still think you wait till Christmas morning.
Yeah. I think that's there.
For the vast majority. But we did the same thing as kids. We would go over to my grandparents' houses, and if it was from them, you'd open it in front of them because it's more for them anyway, so they can see the kids go crazy and all that.
Yeah,
I get that, but I guess overall, I'm very pro saving as much of the pile as you can for Christmas. It's kind of like when you like eating crab. You don't want to just eat it as you go. Right. You want to make like as big of a pile as you can, and then house it.
Right. Do you you seem like you have a history of just not enjoying gifts once they're out of their packaging.
Well, no, but I mean, like, really think about it.
Like, well, it's probably shit. You don't want it. You don't like it. I never like them. I just like the presents in the box. It's like you were molested by a G.I. Joe.
Well, that's a separate. I don't think those incidents are related.
Oh yeah.
But I think that okay. Let me put it to you then. What are like the top 5 Christmas presents you've ever gotten
in my life?
Yeah, in your life, your whole life.
One was the big, huge G.I. Joe tank that like unfolds, into 3 levels. I don't even remember. You know what's funny is I actually looked it up on Amazon or on eBay like less than 2 weeks ago. I looked it up just to see if I could buy someone's old used one because I just thought it was so cool when I was a kid.
I'm asking the wrong person.
So, and then what else? I don't know. I don't know. One year I ran down and I got like robotics.
One and wait, what?
It was like a robotics thing, and I was so excited. I was like looking at it, and then my dad was like, "Oh no, I think that's Scott's. I think that's yours. Is that?" And I just remember being like, "Oh, I wanted that," and I was like so deflated so quickly.
That is great. That always would happen at my house too. It's like the I think there's one more behind the tree as they're like your parents are panicking because they realize they shorted you Your brother's got like 5 things, you got 2, and like, no, Andrew, I'm pretty sure there's one around. Look behind the cat, and they're like, shit, did we not get that thing? Did you? I thought you were going to Target. I thought you were going to get something for Andrew. No. So my point is look, you come up with like 2 things. One of them you didn't even get in like 40 years, that you can even remember.
Well, I mean, if we're counting as an adult, there's been plenty. I can't think of.
Yeah. Okay.
I just remember being happy and loving everything.
But that's what I'm saying. You're happy and you love everything because of the like whole experience of it, not because of the cologne or whatever that's in there or beard.
That's what it was. That's what I couldn't think of. It was cologne.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
It was the CK1 that you wanted so bad.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not anti the actual presents, but it's just very, it's hard to buy something for someone else that they're gonna be like surprised, B, actually use, and C, would be something they might not buy for themselves that they saw. You know what I'm saying? That's
well,
like
you gotta
really
like.
hard
I also, it also depends. Like when you say stuff like that, like, are you talking about for a child, a brother, sister, a spouse? Because those are like, it's very different. Or a kid, it's very easy. It's very easy. A spouse,
yeah, because kids
can't
buy anything for themselves.
Right. It's very hard and very important. For a brother and sister, it's hard, but who gives a shit? It's your brother, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. So then it's more like, oh, Johnny thought of me. He got me this thing. I don't care what the thing is, but I get to open it or I get to see it, and that's nice or whatever. Yeah. He thought he cared. But yeah, like when you're buying presents for people who have their own credit cards,
disposable income, yeah,
it's like impossible.
Well, my wife gets pissed at me because she's like, "You are so hard to buy stuff for because if you want something, you get it immediately." Like I don't. Well, first of all, I don't want a ton of things, but if there's like a pair of Jordans or like a
or a GI Joe tank from the
or something, or 80s. A GI Joe tank from 1986, right? Any of that, I'll just get it.
Yeah. Think how mad your wife would be if she's like, I know what I'm going to get Johnny this year. He used to talk about this GI Joe tank from when he was like 6 years old, and I found one on eBay, and he's going to be so surprised. And you got, I got 3 of those.
2 days before Christmas, one shows up and it's like addressed to me. And I'm like, oh, look what I ordered myself. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I wanted it. I always wanted it. I always talk about it. Of course I'm going to buy it for myself.
Yeah, saw it. I wanted it. I bought it. Yeah. So, no, so I'm not anti-presents. I'm just saying, in the whole scheme of things, it is the opening of it is the memory.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
No, I understand. Point. Yeah. And the Christmas Eve thing, you're doing yourself a disservice by just taking a little, because all you're doing is diminishing the next day's jackpot.
And it's all about the anticipation. Yeah, that's the other thing. You're trying to create this one big moment. Mm-hmm. It'd be like in comedy, you're saving it all for the punchline, but it'd be like cutting into your punchline a little bit by saying the word twice or something in your setup. And so you're diluting the big payoff. Maybe you get a little laugh up front, but then you get less of a laugh on the back end. Now you got 2 mediocre laughs. Who wants that?
Exactly.
That's kind of how my act works anyway. But but a better comedian would have just a big punchline.
Right. They'd be pickier.
Yeah. So anyway. All right. You have another Christmas related
I do. I have
topic?
Yes, I do. All right, so, well, let's just get into the this is the age-old, everyone's had this. I have another one if this is just too quick. Real tree or fake tree? What do you guys do?
Oh, yeah, okay. So we got a real tree this year.
Okay.
I always had a real tree growing up, but then my grandparents had a fake tree, and then my parents, I think at the exact same age as their parents transitioned to a fake tree. So they have a fake tree now.
Do you guys have a real tree right now?
We have a real tree, but I've never gone to like the woods with an axe and cut it down like a
Right.
maniac.
You go to
But
Home
I
Depot,
went to
pick
like
and
the
save.
yeah we went exactly we went to the grocery outlet parking lot
Yeah.
and paid like way too much money for a tree someone else cut down.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I like it. I like, I remember my parents would like, or my dad, it was like the biggest trauma trying to get the tree from the car into the house and into the stand. And they
Yeah.
would just get in this big fight and there'd be needles everywhere and
Yep.
swearing. I remember it seemed so hard. It was like in pot, and then it'd be crooked. And my mom was like, it's crooked. And then he's like, I'm not changing it. I don't know if it was like the stand was like old or what.
Yeah.
But then I did it. I've done it the last couple of years. It's really not very hard. I don't understand why they struggled so much with it. You bring it in the house, you stick it in the thing, you screw the little thing in. It's not straight, and then you move it a little bit, screw it in tighter, put some water in, you're done. So I don't know where you're going with this, but that's my experience.
I'm a big. We grew up with real trees. I don't care. I got a fake one.
Yeah,
I don't have to pay.
I had a hunch.
$80 every year, or whatever they're charging for trees.
No, 80 is like right on the number. 80 is like
God.
dead on.
Because we have. I mean, we have. Aaron was a big proponent for. Oh, we gotta do real tree. I always grew up with a real tree. Who gives a shit? Like, yeah, I also grew up driving a car that wasn't safe, but now they have safe cars, so I drive a safe car. So they have trees now that look real, that they don't have a shitty side, they don't have a bare side, they're not missing patches, there's no needles.
Yeah.
And if you need the smell, get the candle. It's not, and it's so easy. You get one, but we actually have a really shitty one, and because I went low end. I was being very frugal.
Oh God, you're like the Grinch. Like, not only are you not getting a real tree, I'm buying the shittiest fake tree I can find. This fake tree is gonna have holes in it and brown needles.
Because the branches don't come down anymore as well. It's like all shitty, but that's just because I got a cheap one.
Yeah.
But so Aaron's always like, well, the one you have is a piece of shit, so we get a good fake one. But they can be expensive. That can be like 3 years worth of real trees to get a good fake tree. But
I saw this.
But I stand by it.
I'm gonna see. Okay, see, they say we never break from each other, but I'm gonna hold my ground. I'm gonna say the real tree is the way to go because of just the whole. I think having a fake tree is like you're too young for that, John. That's like old. That's old people behavior to have fake trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To have fake trees?
I think having a real tree is like a sign of youth and vitality, and you should go back to having a real. You're too young to be having a fake tree.
I see the path your mind is making. I think it's the opposite. I think in a few years this debate will be over, the gray area will be gone, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, did you know that 30 years ago people used to chop down trees, killing our environment?
Oh yeah. There you go.
Because we hadn't perfected it. That was back in the old days. They actually used real trees. So
no, I got something for you. I got something for you because I've heard this argument. There is like a
hey, I got something for you.
I got something for you. Shout out Doug James. We got to get him on the pod. But I got something for you. That is a real argument. People will say, don't have a real tree because it's like unsustainable farming, or which I don't even understand, because it's like they grew the tree
to be cut down.
It's like I'm cutting down a freaking redwood. All right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
it's like an 8-foot tree, but whatever. But to fight that, they make a product. I don't know if it's a product, but they sell these things now where it's like you grow the tree. They give you the big pot, and you literally have it all year, growing it for Christmas. Like you grow your own Christmas
tree to grow.
I don't know. I don't know if you have like 8 of them, and then they all or if they grow fast, or if you're supposed to be small, or what. But I saw it on an Instagram ad thing, and you can grow your own Christmas tree. It's sustainable, whatever.
But it's only good for 1 year.
Yeah.
Or do you
so you gotta buy it
replant
every
it
time.
after you? I guess you can't replant it after you chop it by the
No,
trunk.
you can in Hollywood. When I lived in Hollywood, I had all these Russian neighbors, and they would take their instead of like throwing away their Christmas trees, which would be a big pain in the ass, they
Yeah.
would just plant them. They would just stick them in the yards. They would just put them in like the apartment had a little garden on the side, and they just plant them like as if they were gonna grow back. This old Russian lady, they would just put them in it. Yeah, and then just by like March, the thing was just like bare and dry and dead. And then I was like, "Who's gonna take this away?" And just nobody is the answer. But
oh my God.
I always thought that.
But that is another. That brings up another point. Is the disposal is a big pain in the butt with a real tree.
That is the harder part because you talk about needles. Not that many needles really come off on the way in, but on the way out, yeah, it's a needle disaster.
Do you have to cut it into sections? Like you can't just throw it on your curb whole, right?
Well, this will be my first. Well, wait, what did we do last year?
We had real trees when we were living in Waukesha before we moved to LA.
I really do not
real trees.
I do not remember.
I don't remember.
Maybe I cut it and just put it in the yard. Maybe I just cut it in half and shoved it in my yard waste. I don't know. I honestly do not remember. Which means I probably just threw it on the street.
Yeah.
Maybe they just come get it. Maybe there's a big. Portland's very organized. I'm sure there was like some notice that went out, and then I got like 6 emails about like this is what you do with your Christmas tree, and like I'm sure it was a very orderly system, and that's why I don't remember. But yeah. Okay. Well, we broke on that one. I think I'm going. Right. I'm going to stay with real tree, but
That's good. That's good. Let's make sure you tell Heidi so she
controversy.
Has more respect for the show.
Yeah. The numbers on this one will be up because it's like talk radio. Okay. So this is my last thing, and I think you're going to be with me, but I'm not sure how you do it in your family, so maybe not. There's like a big thing now where parents never feed into the Santa Claus myth or whatever. And spoiler alert, if kids are listening to this, Santa's real. But parents won't tell their kids about Santa Claus because they like don't want to lie to their kids. They never want to lie to their kids.
And you're saying that's a new phenomenon?
Well, it's like it's a thing. Like parents will go, I'm never gonna say that there is a Santa because I'm not going to lie to my kids about Santa Claus. And I think that's horseshit. I was like, of course you can lie to your kid. I'm planning on lying to my kid, you know, not just about Santa, probably about like a lot of other things too, you know? So
I lie to Duncan every single day and he catches me all the time, which is terrible.
Wait, what do you lie to him about?
3 times this week, Duncan, out of his mouth, he has said, I don't trust you. I don't trust you anymore. Because I'll be in the laundry room, and he knows that's where the candy is, and I'll be in the laundry room eating Laffy Taffies, and he's like a ninja. He just comes in, I know what you're doing, you're eating candy. And I had it in my mouth, and I was like, no, he's like, then what is that? And I'm like, Duncan, it was a cookie. You made cookies at Gigi's, and I just eating a cookie. And he's like, that doesn't smell like the cookies. Because he can smell Laffy Taffy on my breath. He's like, that doesn't smell like cookies. You're lying. I don't believe you. I don't trust you.
Oh, my God. If you substitute Laffy Taffy for rum in that story, it's the saddest alcoholic. Like, I smell it on your breath. I smell the Laffy Taffy on you, Dad. You act weird when you eat those Laffy Taffies. I know what you're doing in the laundry room.
I know what you're doing when you sneak away. But really, the sad truth is it's literally just my sugar addiction to candy.
Well, it's funny, too, because like, at least like Christmas, you're lying to the kid for their own wonderment and benefit. You're just lying to your kids so you can house a few Laffy Taffy.
Huh? This is true.
Wow. Duncan, smart kid. He's got you.
He is.
Okay, so of course then you're on board because you tell your kids about Santa, right?
Yeah, this blows my mind. I never heard of anyone.
Oh yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, like people. I think it's like a new agey.
What do they do? It's like
they just give them presents, or they just give them presents on credit. This is from your mom. I think it's kind of selfish. Maybe they're like, I don't want to give any credit to some mythological, man in the North Pole. Like I bought you this, I want the credit for it. Maybe that's it. But yeah, no, I think I heard this crazy story on NPR one time where there was like this family out in the sticks somewhere, and their parents, I think it was the dad, it's either the mom or the dad, I think it was the dad, was like super creative, super like whimsical, would tell the kids about fairies and
Yeah.
elves and all this stuff. And he would like go crazy about Santa Claus, like really like would like leave like clues that he had been there, like hoof prints, the whole thing, like really built it up, like they believed.
Yeah.
And they were homeschooled too, so it was like you had this whole so these kids were like 18 years old before they found out Santa was not real. Like it got like devastatingly way too long for them to believe in Santa Claus. And then it caused this huge rift in the family. Like hated their dad because they were so ashamed or embarrassed that they like believed all this stuff that wasn't real. So it's like this big psychological disaster, even though the dad seems like, in one way, you're like, that's the coolest dad ever,
Yeah.
But I think like the less severe version of that is these parents going, I don't want to have my kids ever hear me tell them something that's not true.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on. What are we talking about? Of
I
course
don't
you're
know.
going to lie to your kids.
It does scare me, like, because Duncan's in first grade, Edie's in second. It does scare me that, I mean, in the next few years, I gotta tell them, and that's gonna be. I mean, that will be.
Well, you don't have to tell them. They're just
gonna tell them, but when they ask, because I was talking to my buddy. My buddy was telling me that, like, yeah, when his kid asked him, he just, if he asks, I tell him the truth, and he asked, so I said, yeah, and I was like, oh,
but then
that's heartbreaking.
But then, like, there's got to be like a ramp down. There's got to be some sort of, because I remember like you'd see Santa at the mall, and you're not, by the time you're in first grade, you're not an idiot, So you go, and parents would be like, oh, well, that's just one of his. That's someone representing Santa. Yeah. So there's all these like little ramps down, or you know what I mean? Like, how can he go to every house in one night? Well, he has multiple. It's like a distribution network, and he's got all these. You know what I mean? Are there like lies you can tell to sort of wean them off the original Santa lie, or is it just you go one day? Because I know how it got spoiled for me. My older brother just couldn't wait to tell me. Once he found out, I knew. He was like, oh, you think Santa's real? Come look at this. And then he just opened my parents' bathroom shower door, and there's just all the presents in there. I was like, oh shit, he's right.
How old were you?
I don't remember. I do not remember. I'm sure it was like it was at least first grade. I don't think I made it past that. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. So you might be in trouble. And by the way, wait, Edie's older, right? Edie's
older. And she has.
So once Edie knows,
she's asked Aaron.
Yeah, once Edie knows, Duncan's gonna know.
She's gonna tell. The thing is, like, our plan is like, okay, when Edie asks or wants to find out, then she's in on the secret, and it can be fun for her. She can be like, oh, I get to keep the secret alive.
Well, you gotta sell it that way. Maybe my older brother.
Right. That's how we will. We'll be like, all right, you're part of you're part of the secret. But yeah, you never know. Kids are.
That might work. Or she might just not be able to resist and go, what are you, moron?
But it's tricky. What's tricky is, so we got all this Christmas stuff, but at the same time, we have Edie and Duncan in like Catholic religious classes, so they have to like we have to do it on Monday nights or whatever, because they're in public school. See, I went to a Catholic school. So it was just all part of school. It was no deal.
Right.
So now we're like, so they're hearing all this stuff kind of for the first time, because we're not huge religious, whatever. But like, I was like, okay, I want to kind of, whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, so we're juggling these two stories that one.
Yeah. Santa, complete fabrication. God,
but this other one
100%
that's very
real.
Similar. The other one that's very similar is, well, with all these miracles, those are true. It's like,
some miracles you'd have to be an idiot to believe in. Others, you'll go to hell if you don't. Right. Make sure you're clear on which miracles send you to hell and which ones don't.
All right.
Yeah,
God.
no, parenting's now. It's funny. I was thinking about that because everything you just described sounds very delicate and difficult.
Yeah.
And when I'm dealing with like a newborn, and I'm like, this is the hardest thing. And then I'm like, I don't even. You're right. It's just gonna get like trickier and trickier and harder and harder. It doesn't get easier.
Yeah, and I mean, and even same for us. Like, it's like, oh, this is hard where they're at now. But when they get older than they are now, we're gonna have to be carting them to, practice and what are just all the stuff they're involved in. Now they're not involved in.
Right.
I mean, well, it is 2020 and no one's involved in anything. But like Edie's doing violin over Zoom. There's no sports at all. But once they're like older and they're like doing stuff and have to go stuff, it's gonna be a big pain. Ugh.
Well, something to look forward to.
Yeah. God. Ugh. God damn it.
Well, wait, and then you said you're not going to get them their licenses till they're 18, right?
Yeah, we'll see how.
You might revisit
We'll see
that
how
decision.
closely we stick to our guns.
No, you're going to be good because then the robot cars will be there by then, and they can just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the self-drive, they'll just get driven around by robots. So
yeah, that's
you're
true.
good on that.
That's true.
Anyway,
all right. Since this is our Christmas episode, I have a bonus topic.
Oh my gosh!
Real quick.
It's one. There was one behind the tree.
There was one behind it. There's a topic over there.
There's a topic, I think, behind that. Didn't your father? I think your father went and got you a topic a week ago when I asked him to. Okay, go ahead.
So, lights. You put up your lights. You take them down. People make a big deal. Oh, people are putting their lights up at Halloween. Who gives a shit? Do whatever you want. I don't know why everyone's like, oh, yeah. I can't stand it when people. I took our lights down June. This year of June. I took them down from last time because I didn't have an extender ladder. We borrowed my neighbor's so I could get the lights up. And I was just like, well, I don't want to ask for it again right away because then he's just going to be like, you're just going to use my ladder every time.
Why don't you buy a ladder for Christmas?
So I waited till June, and I didn't care. You just don't turn them on every night,
Well, yes, but if you wait till June, are you like I'm bad at math, but like aren't you like almost to the point where you just can ride out? If you can just ride out the summer, now you're in that magical. You're in that magical zone where you just never take them down because there are houses out there that just never take them down.
Well, that's what I said. We have a big, huge pine tree in front of our house, and we'd have to pay someone to get it, because it's taller than our house, and it's like blocking our house. But it would be a great tree to get lights on and have someone professionally decorate it because it's this huge pine tree. Right. And I'm thinking if we ever decide to do that, we're not ever taking the lights down. And Aaron was like, "Well, you can't just leave them up. That looks terrible." No, it doesn't. And if you leave them off, who cares?
Well,
it's our
and
tree.
If you go, I've noticed, people go like. People try to straddle the line of like what's Christmas lights and then what's just nice like porch lights, because like our neighbor will have just pretty white lights up around her porch, and I'm like, you could really have that. That's not even tacky, if you had that in the summertime. You know what I mean? Yeah. It would just look nice.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just do like white lights around the tree, leave them up all year.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, like people.
Like, how does it affect anyone else when other people put their lights up or take them down?
So and also like these neighborhoods, people lose their minds. They think the whole thing with America, everybody loves freedom and all this stuff until they're like in a neighborhood and they want to tell everybody exactly like how, what color they can paint their houses, and what kind of shit they can do with their yards. You know what I mean? Like. Just leave people alone. You want Christmas lights all year? Go for it.
Go for it. Boom. You get it.
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you.
Are you?
We got our lights up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I would hope so. It's the 23rd right now.
Although my neighbor, it's so funny. He put up his Christmas lights today. I was like, dude, what are you even? You're not even gonna get any use out of it. Like, if I made it this far and didn't have lights, I'm like, we're not doing it this year. But I think his son was visiting today, so it's like. He's probably like, oh, shit, I better pretend I care about Christmas or something. I don't know. So he put his lights up today.
Are you guys going to do Elf on a Shelf for little Ginger?
You know what's so funny? I do not even know what that is.
This is our first year of doing it, and it's like it's.
I mean, I've heard of it. I just don't know. I've always heard of it and never done the legwork to figure out what it is.
You just move it every night. You're supposed to move it every night, and if
so as if the elf comes to life.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he watches you so you have to behave because he's watching you, and then he reports to Santa that he comes back the next day and he's moved, and kids aren't allowed to touch him or else he loses his magic power or whatever. So we started doing it this year, and I'll tell you this: it's hard to remember because, first of all, I've never drank more than during 2020. I've never been one of those. Oh, after work I have a beer every night, whatever. But now it's like I do have beer with dinner because it's nice, and I forget. We both forget to move this elf on the shelf. So the next morning, because they when they wake up, they're like, "Oh, let's go find sprinkles," because you gotta name your elf.
Yeah,
that's when they come to life, when you name them, and they're like, "Oh, he didn't move." So Edie has rationalized. She's like, "That means he didn't get enough information, Duncan. So he didn't move. He didn't get enough information. So if we forget to move him, that's."
Daddy had too many Laffy Taffies last night. He forgot to move the elf.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So I didn't know if you were going to do that because it's basically a Hallmark thing. There's like, oh, how can we make more money?
Oh no, that sounds fun though. That sounds fun. That sounds more fun than the Advent calendar. Did you do the Advent calendar, or do you do an Advent calendar?
No, I think we did. No. We probably did growing up.
I figure you would do one now just for the chocolates.
Thank you.
It's just a way for you to consume. You're like not even
maybe
doing it.
Maybe if they had
I'm
it
gonna
with
have a couple
Laffy
Advent. Yeah, I'm gonna have a couple Advent calendars after dinner. No, I did them, but then that same thing happens. You forget to open it a few nights, or then you go, or you're like too eager and you open you pop one, you can't stop kind of thing, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're already at Christmas Eve on the 12th. Right. You know, that used to happen to me.
No, we haven't done that in a while.
Elf on the Shelf sounds more fun. I would do that. You know, Ginger. I don't think she's obviously probably too. A lot of this stuff you're doing, and you're like, this is completely lost on her.
Well, this
what age?
I said, this is our first year of doing Elf on the Shelf.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
So, all right. Well, Santa's real for all of you kids listening.
For all you kids that listened. Yeah. We did it.
We did it. Well,
did you check for reviews?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Well, I think we're probably safe.
I think we can save it up. This was the Christmas episode, so we wouldn't want to spoil it with any stupid listener comment.
Yeah.
No. We love those. So send those in. I hope everyone had a nice Christmas or nice holidays. And thanks for listening. And we will see you.
We don't have a review. I just checked.
Did you hear me? I was doing like a professional sort of stall there.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, no, we don't.
Okay, good. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, good. No, we're still wallowing in obscurity. Good. That's what I like.
All right, everybody. We will see you in another week.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening to
The Cavalry.
The Cavalry. I was going to make another joke about how it would be like our Thanksgiving episode. The moment's passed. So thanks for listening to The Cavalry.
Yeah.